case we can, catch my super stylish socks. You don't know, there's like paws and claws on the bottom, dude. Straight up cat feet. Thank you guys. Like, this is literally one of the biggest milestones in the company's history. So thank you. Meet the new crew. This is our family. We've integrated some humans to the whole colony. So this clutter is now definitely multi-species. I'm deeply appreciated to all these kids. I might have the vision, but they're the ones that have the power to actually make it happen. So please welcome them and thank you for supporting us. My name is Nelson Andres Cepeda. Most people know me as Andres. A lot of my followers know me as Cat Dad. I'm really just some guy who fell in love with his cats very early on. I really envision Urban Feline as an idea. I want it to someday represent what I call benevolent business practices. It's kind of a unique concept. I think that it's something that maybe this world really, really needs. It's an idea to form something that is really, truly so much greater than each of our individual values. The kind of value that's created with the work that's produced by that kind of collaboration really can't be compared to with anything else that I've ever studied in society. Urban Feline to me is an opportunity to do good and contribute back to society in some constructive way while at the same time having fun with a business model that is unlike anything else out there. Cheeto is really the inspiration for this whole company. In fact, if I had not adopted Cheeto or if Cheeto had not been born deaf, then Urban Feline never would have come to be. In a nutshell, what happened was I adopted Cheeto and Layla before they were even 2 pounds old. And it took me about a week to realize that Cheeto was deaf. Once I realized that, it was a very, very quick conclusion that, okay, Cheeto's gonna have to live his whole life indoors. I thought that was just very limiting. I wasn't cool with that at all. So I figured out, well, we've got to find a way to make indoors really, really cool. Indoors needs to emulate outdoors as much as possible. Let's bring the outdoors inside. And that's really how this all started. I started trying to emulate the natural environment that cats engage with outside within the indoor environment using all kinds of different materials that I had discovered along the lines while working in construction. Rescue work is probably the hardest part of the job, but it's also the most rewarding part. I've rescued everything from like neonatal possums to seagulls, goats, horses. Obviously dogs and cats are one of the most frequent. Birds, I've rescued hummingbirds, baby ones, and actually was successfully able to nurse them all the way up to adultship. It's been a roller coaster ride the entire time. You really never know what you're going to encounter, and one of the most challenging aspects of that is really making peace with the fact that you're doing your absolute best. Regardless of how good you are, there's always going to be an animal that dies on you. Managing the company over the last decade has been, I mean, it's consumed almost every aspect of my life. If I were to average it out, I would confidently say 6.5 days a week. My days are typically 12 to 14 hours long as far as the actual work or time spent in the shop or tending to the business needs. And quite literally every single cent that comes through this door is funneled right back into the business for either growth, expansion, or improvement of process and procedure. For the most part, alone, like physically, but in a large way, a lot of the community support that I've gotten, especially in the last 2 years, has been deeply, deeply inspiring. A lot of the work that I do is really taxing on the emotional side of us. To have multiple animals dying in your hands every single year is really, really hard. But at the same time, to get feedback from the community saying, you know, my cat's alive today because of what you taught me, or I have an amazing relationship with my cat now because of what I've learned from your feed. It's really inspiring, and at the end of the day, that's really what keeps me going. You know, when I'm working until 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'm back up by 6:30 in the morning. It's really for you guys. I mean, at the end of the day, I never expected any of this to happen. I don't necessarily feel I deserve it, but at the same time, I couldn't have gotten this far without it. The most recent challenge has been Our whole sanctuary flooded on April 7th. It appears that the power company came out to service one of the transformers on the property, and in doing so, they displaced mud, which was causing water to pool, which led to oxidation of the unit. That mud was displaced and put somewhere which was a really important water runoff for the building. In doing so, it acted like a dam, and it caused the entire rear of the building to flood. The water level rose so high that it flooded the entire first floor of the building. We had water pouring out the front door that looked like a small river. That was a Category 3 contamination, which means black water. The company that came out to do the assessment said that it was a total loss by what their industry evaluates. And they said that amongst many things that were in the contaminants included feces from various animals, motor oil and gasoline from the adjacent mechanic shop, and the obvious one was some form of COVID exposure or some form of coronavirus exposure. We had Bessie in the back at that time, so her feces was floating around in that water as well. And the only reason I even found that happening at 6:30 in the morning is because I had been sleeping at the gallery since we had just entered the whole lockdown. And Raven comes running into the bed, and she's all wet. I thought she had urinated in the box and got herself dirty. So I get up to go check it out, and as soon as I step on the deck, I just see this glass sheet all over the bottom of the gallery, and I instantly knew, okay, we got a really bad flood. I thought it was from repair work I had just done over the past weekend where I was patching the roof, and I immediately went into crisis management mode trying to figure out where the source of the leak was so that I could patch it up. It never dawned on me at that point that it was a flood. I thought it was just a whole leak from the roof, which would have really been a minor issue. Of course, all of that was at a time when it was available to me. I had to displace the cats immediately. We made an emergency shelter in the barn out back. I had to surrender Bessie, the dog I was caring for at the time. And I felt horrible because when I had to finally hand her over to the officer, she thought I was taking her for a walk. She was so excited. I felt like I was betraying her. It's been a living hell ever since then. We're still dealing with the issue now. It's been almost 60 days since the flood. And it's been now 30 days, I think, or somewhere around there since we contacted the power company about it. And we're not getting any help. We're not getting any answers. I'm working nonstop. Like, I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. And every day I have to roll up my sleeves. And I have to work 3 jobs. I have to care for my animals and keep everything clean for them. I have to process orders and manage my company. And I have to try and do damage control for this whole flooding issue. And I'm so tired. And all I can do is bottle this up every day and try and keep my composure and remain task oriented and focused and not get stuck in focusing on the Herculean task. It's already more than I can handle. But we're literally at a point, I don't know if we can make it through this on our own. And that's life sometimes, especially with what's going on. It seems trivial at times. There are people going through so much worse. But then I remind myself there are so many animals that rely on this sanctuary. There are so many people that we've helped. I think that we might have to shut our doors down soon. And I don't want to, but I don't know how to pull through this. We need help. We need help. So, life isn't always easy, and it's definitely rarely fair. I think sometimes what matters most is getting back up, dusting yourself off, and pressing forward. I have no intentions of quitting, and I'm committed to my mission. I'm determined to find a way through this. It would be nice to be able to get some help so that we can get back on our feet. I feel like this has been a serious blow to this whole dream, and it would be amazing if this could just be the beginning of what is a really good thing. In my culture and in my family, we have a common expression, which is there's no bad that doesn't come for a very good reason. And I really hope there's a really good reason for all of this. I'm sure there will be, and I'll see that one day. And for now, I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to make sure that I don't burn myself out, and I'm trying to just find the strength to press forward and do whatever it is that needs to be done. To all of you, thank you for watching this, for whatever it is that you would like to do to help this cause. We really appreciate it. At the end of the day, I mean, this is all for you. My cats and I mean, we really don't need much to be happy and to thrive. But we figured if we work hard, we can help so many other animals and families be just as happy and thrive just as well as we do. And it's really sad in my mind to think that that might be over. So thank all of you, or thanks to all of you who are taking a moment out of your time to pay us a little bit of attention and maybe support us with a donation of either time and energy, or financial contribution, or a purchase from our online store. Every bit helps, and I have faith that in the end, this really will be the beginning of a really wonderful change. And I hope all of you are there to help see us through to that. So thank you, and goodbye.